Antonio won the die roll, which is I think a good news for Pietro, because when you play a deck that blinds second, you actually hope to lose the die rolls so that you don't give away information. And we start things off with Marsh Mao Yami.
You talked about this before. How do you feel about activating the effect of Marsh Mao in order to be summoned instead of normal summoning?
I mean, I think back in Lille, I would have said that's not too much of a big deal, but nowadays we saw that in the deck breakdown, K9 Vanquish Soul is back. Is one of the most represented decks, and definitely, you know, that Izuna is something you should start respecting a bit more.
And I mean, it is one of those strategies because I think a lot of players anticipated Dracotail to be very popular right now, and K9 with Vanquish or even Grayson are very, very strong against Dracotail, for example. So you're waiting for Izuna to be there.
I mean, I really like it, honestly. I think Vanquish Soul with K9s, it's definitely one of the biggest choice, I think, for this event. And I can't wait to see the deck in action. I think it's consistent, and the K9s in general very good against Dracotail. So.
And here we see quite the opener from Antonio. This is also the deck I picked to win the event, and it does have some consistency issue when you open, you know, like this Abakiri plus the Yami engine. It can do so much. And we see Antonio with an heads up play. Essentially here, by chaining the Snatchy, you can choose to protect your Sagi from the Ash Blossom, which is a really good play, I would say.
There is an argument right now debating about if you can keep the Ash Blossom instead of Sagi for a ritual spell in order to be protected by the summon of Murakumo, but I don't see quite if this is the case.
For the rest, I think we do have Capsi because we didn't go for Capsi, so I mean, we access the one-offs usually in the deck, but for now, no response from Pietro, and you talked about it. It's most likely, again, one other deck that just relies on spells, not really on entraps. Do we have the Purification in the main deck from Antonio?
It does.
Okay. Yeah, here we see it.
Just calling it.
Yeah, immediately answered. This has been a trend in the, I think, last maybe not even couple weeks. But I think it's fair, I guess. When Dracotail gets so popular, you want to have additional interruptions, and it doesn't really cost you that much. It's mostly a matter of consistency, because it's another of those cards where you don't want to see it, especially going second. But yeah.
And I mean, after so many rounds of Swiss, you can afford to go a little bit more greedy in order to play only going first cards, but they give you so much bigger ceiling and so big protection and power to the deck.
I mean, I feel like it's one of those cards you can surely side in if you feel like, but also having it in the main deck if you win the die roll, honestly, just I mean, it's another form of interruption, so I think it makes sense, you know.
Yeah, here we see the Samsara. This card is amazing to allow the Yami deck to bridge into the Mitsurugi, because obviously Herald of the Arclight is not only a fundamental piece of your end field, but it has the graveyard effect to add the ritual, and with the Samsara you can recycle it essentially as if you have two copies.
And yeah, I mean, it's not only that it gives the bridge and the potential for going from Yami to Mitsu, but also gives the single copy of Herald of the Arclight again into the extra deck in order to be summoned again, and not only be a way to find your Mitsurugi engine, but also be an ending piece of your field.
Yep. And at the end of everything, we see the Fuvalos. So, I mean, Antonio with double Mulcharmi in the opener. But just what he needed here. He can access the Lollipop, bring back two. Yep.
I mean, a very good opener for him, especially because he managed to get rid of the two Mulcharmies. You know, one being normal summon and the other one being discarded. So I think overall.
This Purification here will be extremely relevant, because usually you can set up with the prayers face down and it already grants you more, but the decks like Pietro could line up really well, because they're full of cards like Forbidden Droplet, Lightning Storm and stuff like this. But the Purification adds another layer of disruption which can negate one of those, you know, field-breaking spells. So great stuff, but let's see if Pietro can pull this comeback off.
And to be honest, this is exactly one of the reasons that why I don't really like the going second strategy overall, because look at this field, it's really scary having Epi Mascherena, Murakumo with prayers on the back, purification also, and obviously all the Yamis in order to be chain linked. How you can deal with that? It is one of those fields that seems very scary.
It's tough. I mean, here I think it's just a matter of for Pietro. I mean, if he really has some field breakers, like maybe Forbidden Droplet, because he's main decking them. Also, there's the Lightning Storm. He can surely play around those. If he maybe doesn't find any other solution, he could also maybe consider to pick up his cards to prevent his opponent to know what he's playing. It depends honestly on what his end looks like. He also has, you know, Sky Striker cards in it just to help him out navigating through his opponent's field.
And not only engage with drones, but also all the arsenal of Sky Strikers like Jamming Wave and Afterburners.
Yeah.
Okay, we do not start things off with non-engine, and I mean, I think Dark Ruler is one of the few cards that can help you with such an opener, but instead we open with the Dispersion, I believe. And yeah, as expected, Antonio is just going to have a read at it. Again, one of those decks you don't really expect, especially once you are 3-0, I would say.
And we have Purification for Dark Ruler.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah. But obviously you're not going to see Dark Ruler in a deck that wants to just win by damage, you know. It's like playing it in Tempai, so not really what you are looking to use.
I mean, I can hear the logic that you Dark Ruler in order to clear the fields and establish, you know, a mini field later. But yeah, Gemini that really wants to have all the damage in the battle phase. It's quite odd. So we have activated caps in order to draw potentially. And Neperim is one of those cards that you really want to see in your opening hand or access through your spells in order to start your engine and obviously to eventually access your fusion monsters, which is why this deck is very strong right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it really doesn't have any form of interruptions, it's going to be very difficult for Pietro, because this is a lot, honestly. Yeah, okay, it starts with Jamming Wave, eating one of the two face-down cards from Antonio.
And this is a big 50-50,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, Purification against Surprise makes a ton of difference.
There was a mind game that players used to keep their better cards far away from the deck. So I want to see if actually Purification will be on the top corner.
Oh, is maybe chaining something to it?
Droplet maybe? Because... Yeah. Only with a spell. You had one more spell. Jamming Wave will also be able to destroy a card.
And hit the Purification, so...
Yeah.
Does Purification destroys also? Because Droplet will be on the grave and Jamming will destroy a card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jamming Wave can destroy a monster right now.
But let's see.
I mean, it is Yukanan effect.
Yeah,
so
I'm pretty sure.
I'm definitely sure about it.
But I think regardless we are going to use enough, and wow, we are actually playing another interesting card here, but as you can see, Antonio debating a bit, clarifying what Pietro is gonna go for.
Yeah, Jamming Wave check on resolution, so it definitely can destroy a monster.
Yeah, and I think Pietro just informed Antonio what's going on here. Very good and heads-up play from Pietro.
So the discard was probably due to Murakumo.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, Herald is destroyed. Resolution from the jamming waves. Antonio in a new chain can activate both the Herald and the Murakumo. Oh, no. Yeah, that's not quite how it works. I mean, yeah. And now he can get 2 searches. He's playing, I guess, the usual 1 of ritual and the ritual spell. Let's see. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going for. I'm surprised he didn't go for a prayers, but let's see. Yeah, Nephilim was the card that was added at the start from Dispersion and that we knew about. But there are still a lot of things that can be done.
I mean, we still have prayers in order to recover Murakumo to destroy the field. We still have the SP, we still have Snatchy to Akroki, we still have Cookie to set 2 monsters face down. And
Yeah,
obviously any potential hand trap in the hand.
Yeah, it seems quite a lot, and I think Pietro with 2 cards in and.
Xilophonia.
That's quite an interesting one. Yeah, the Gorgon.
I really like this card. It's very strong against Dracotail, and obviously it has so many applications because when you see SP, you probably wait. An IP, you probably wait for the SP to be summoned, and Xilophonia is there in order to caught you off guard and potentially stops you plays that you weren't expecting to be interrupted with.
I mean, definitely a nice addition, especially something that you don't really expect from this deck. And you can tell that Pietro maybe is not super experienced with it. I mean, very nice.
Yeah,
honestly.
it was an inclusion originally for the Luna Live matchup. It has found its way in a lot of different scenarios, and as you can see here, Pietro not quite happy with this, and now he will be able to resolve and bring back 2 yummy monsters, and it's going to be the Cookie.
Do you destroy here or you wait for maybe next turn to Cookie? Next
now we get the
play.
Brilliant, the one off. Yep.
The potential last maybe.
Oh, nope. Bit of a slip. And I think the last card is Surprise, no? Should be.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Because we got it back with Marshmallow. So
we don't have a prayers?
No, I don't think we have prayers. I think we just got Purification instead of prayers. We couldn't access both, I guess. And so it's actually maybe closer than it looks, because I mean we still have a few interruptions, but
and we still have the
creaky, yeah.
And we still have the Brilliant Fusion.
Yeah.
I mean, Piero needs to find a very nice play in order to push through all this field, but it's something. And now we will see the card that was discarded due to a Murakumo effect.
Yeah, anyways, we had the option to recover, and we're gonna fusion summon using materials, and finally we access our first fusion monster of this duel. And yeah, Antonio regretting a little bit, maybe again not too familiar with this, and now we have the Lady Rose Diamond eating the field.
I mean, with all the newest support of the Gem Knight, most of the players are not very familiar if you haven't played against it actually, because it has changed a lot as a deck. It has gained a lot of good cards, good supportive cards, and right now you need to know all the potential threats that you may be facing. But I think the end game for Gemini strategy is obviously the Diamond Dissipation. It is one of the cards that you really want to activate and resolve, summoning up to 3 fusion monsters.
I mean, I feel like the deck is very powerful, especially because of the amount of fusion you can set up during one turn, and pushes a lot of damage. I think it's super scary, and I mean, as you can tell, I think Antonio really wants to be careful about all the possible interruptions he may have. But definitely, you know, something that here comes the Brilliant Fusion card we have seen before.
But here the Lady Rose Diamond keeps the Snatch in check, because you can just banish and pop in response, possibly.
Yeah, but we still have the surprise.
Yeah. And it's exactly what we're gonna go for. We chain the Lady Rose Diamond, it seems, on the cookie. But yeah, as you've mentioned, look at this, very, very well played by Pietro, who manages to surprise his opponent, take the most out of it, and maybe the lack of knowledge of his own deck, and is able to negate the surprise as well as resolving the Lady Rose, essentially making that Snatchy useless. And now Antonio is completely vulnerable.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
responses.
the Hollow Core from the graveyard, honestly, it's something quite unexpected, I would say. It's just banishing it with other Gemini cards to negate another effect. It's great, especially because now I really feel like Pietro can put a lot of pressure, and potentially also could look forward to seal the game.
And I mean, Pietro seems very, very calm, and it is one of those scenarios that when you bring such a deck into an event like a YCS, that you are required to go second for 14-15 rounds.
Yeah.
Right now, only for the Swiss, you need to know every interaction, you know, every matchup potentially, and as we can tell and see, Pietro is very, very calm, and he knows exactly which interaction he should follow in order to play around a Mitsurugi Yami field.
I mean, very good show off here from Pietro, especially because, as mentioned, if you're not super familiar with the deck, there are so many different options and effects that sometimes you may forget about, and here it comes like another fusion. I mean, we mentioned it. I think Gemini is very good at putting a lot of pressure into your opponent, and the more advantage they take, the more pressure you can put, and the more fusion summons are gonna happen.
And you can tell that Xylophonia right now provides such a big role into Pietro's plays, because right now everything that is pointing by Xylophonia cannot, they have their effect negated, which is very, very important. Because in a deck that wants to summon a lot of fusion monsters and just bring and bring and bring monsters from the extra deck into the field, it's very important to have your opponent kinda semi-locked, having 3 zones blocked in an essence that their effects are negated.
But yeah, now we finally get rid of this Gorgon. And let's see, can Pietro pull this off? It's a matter of math right now.
And yeah, I think it's just
some calculation.
Yeah, just to clarify, effect of Ruby was activated in order to send Topaz and Xylophonia to the graveyard.
And now we are just calculating, because we are entering battle phase. The Minion has a boost, so hopefully Pietro took that into account. They both look a bit confused. But yeah, they're going through all the different effects and
Yes, because I mean, if he doesn't win in this round, Pietro, I don't know what field he can establish that it will be scary for Antonio to play through.
definitely,
Especially with all this follow-up in his hand.
yeah, it seems like it would be completely over.
I mean, you can tell they're still be very careful about the life points, you know, calculation and everything, but yeah. Topas can make 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as you can see here, basically just going through math once more.
Well, I think here, I mean, almost there. 400 life points remaining for Antonio. I wonder if there may have been something else that Pietro could have done, but honestly, this looks already a lot from him.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a potential threat. Right now, you cannot activate the effect of prayers to special summon, which is very, very important. And also, you can only have 3 synchro summons with the effect of Snatchy to play around things. But I still believe that you just activate Mirror, Special Summon Murakumo effects to destroy the field, and the only real interruption is the Geminite in the graveyard, Holocore, as we saw before. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Geminite Lady Rose can only have her effects activated in our turn in order to banish and destroy.
And yeah, unfortunately, as we can see, it seems like those 500 from the field spell were the difference in the end. Very unfortunate from Pietro. Really, really well played, but in the end, it's all down to the details, and Murakumo can just come and clear most of this. There is a protection effect from the lady we shouldn't forget about, because I think the first time your Gemnites are destroyed, they are not. But we are not gonna be allowing that, because we do go and negate the ritual spell. Do we have more from Antonio? Oof.
Wow.
Top deck prayers. That was not in the
We
end.
cannot special summon. We take the damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, Emma. Wow. Because the question is...
It's an effect. It's not a cost.
Yeah, yeah.
So we lose, right?
I believe so as well.
Yeah, because
I mean...
we can pay the life points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I think that in any case, since it's an effect and you committed to special summon Murakumo, as you saw, I think it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, Antonio, I think that he just realized that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure anyways, because the rest of them, we know Abakiri, we know pre-preparation, which is useless. And so there is only one card we are not aware of, and everything else is useless. And so as you can see, he just picks up his card.
And to be honest, this is where the mind games begin, because Antonio knows that Pietro plays a going second strategy. However, he potentially can read that his opponent has also a side for going first, for example, Solemn card, for example, Heatwave, for example, maybe a different Dimension Ground that it may find the way. However, we can see that Antonio lets Pietro go first.
Antonio, definitely familiar with the strategy, decided not to risk it, or maybe yes, depending on point of views, and gonna go second. I believe we do have an Ash Blossom in hand, and it would be interesting to see for what card he wants to
I mean,
it.
Brilliant Fusion. It's
Possibly.
most of the cases.
Yeah.
Because they can search it, obviously. And Armadillo, one of the cards that also used to be a very popular card in previous formats. And right now we have starting to establish our field step by step, and obviously Holocore, the interruption of the deck and a potential backup plan when you go first, in order to have him in the graveyard, as we saw before, in order to establish a negate.
Yeah. There are ways around your opponent making you start in this deck. Of course, before it was also relying on Mjolnir and different ways, sometimes Protoss, but nowadays it's not really possible anymore. But let's see what Pietro found as a way to counter this strategy from his opponent.
I mean, Protoss is not legal anymore, but his cousin is. Eschatos.
Could be the case.
And right now we can tell that Pietro, as we saw in the first round, in the first game, he's very experienced for even going first. He's prepared, because we can tell from his body language and how he is making his moves that he knows what he's doing, and that he has a backup plan, and he has a strategy for going first. And I think right now we are going to see a Baguska, one of those Xyz4 that is pretty generic and obviously gives the opportunity for any deck to establish a mini floodgate in order to be protected from strategies like Mitsurugi.
I think it's a very good starting hand, honestly, with a field like this. I'm just a bit skeptic on why Antonio didn't activate Ash Blossom, honestly. Maybe was feeling like it was not the right moment. But I feel like this is good from Pietro. I mean, of course, there was no interruption from Antonius, but the Baguska itself is just, already annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go normal summon a Yami, make it to Snatchy, summon a Croaky, special summon another Yami, synchro summon without an effect, and have a Croaky to destroy.
Is a Croaky even gonna be there? That's the thing. A Croaky, it's not played by many, and especially going second, it's not really, in the deck often.
I mean, you keep it. You definitely play it, in my opinion, due to Dracotail.
Yeah.
But for going second, yes, potentially it can be sided out.
And we start things off with the cold buy, I guess, on the Allocore. Yeah. Anyways, it's quite an annoying card. We saw pretty much it was the card that probably won Pietro the game at the end. So.
Yeah, this extra interruption, which is
so good.
Also hidden in the graveyard, it's very, very important.
Oh, and that's another good card to start things off, but we need a way to play through this Baguska.
And yet we have access to our Mitsurugi, but obviously Saji can be activated in the graveyard, but we need to find quickly an out to Baguska in order to summon eventually Murakumo to destroy the field.
Yeah. I mean, SP is always a solid option, and we could access it.
Yeah, but can you afford to give Gemini a turn? Because it would be very scary. Having,
I know.
Because Pietro has the
a lot of setup. Yeah. Let's see. Because as you can see, of course, through the Baguska, the Murakumo will be in defense, and then we get to add the card.
Can we make Xylophania to negate the Baguska? Or it's only for activated effects?
No, it's only activated.
Activated, yeah.
Okay, now we get the prayers.
And I think that at this moment we just going through monsters in order to generate advantage, since obviously we cannot activate the effects on the field, and trying to find bodies into the field in order to go for a potential link that will give us the option to out the Bakuska eventually.
Okay,
Dynamondo also works.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Good find by Antonio.
It was there for a reason. Maybe it was there for the Baguska itself.
And it's also good against the Dragotail, because you can bounce the traps they set. And now Antonio can go through every potential place that he can, since he has both engines in his hand, and Pietro right now doesn't have, I believe, any more real threat into the field and graveyard apart from any potential hand trap.
Yeah, and I don't believe that to be the case.
And we go through Capsi in order to search for 2 Yami monsters and discard a card. Capsi and Masmau maybe. Yes. And at this stage I think it is very important to see the discard. I think that I have seen in Antonio's hand Purification, so I think it's a good discard, because Purification has also a graveyard effect, which will be very important going second if you manage to discard it and have it in the graveyard in order to special summon from the graveyard Murakumo potentially. Snatchy will be summoned, and then Lollipop will be special summoned since we control a Link 1 monster. Surprise will be activated, targeting
the
Diamond, and Seraphinite. And this is a very cool interaction to explain, because the cost is to target, but in order to shuffle back into the extra deck the potential targets or getting it to the hand, you can just change Snatches, Synchro Summon, and then you can just bounce only your opponent monster. And at this point I think Antonio has so much damage into the field, also Purification into the graveyard, and I think that's game, And we can tell if Antonio or Pietro is going first. I think Antonio. No, Pietro started.
Yeah. I mean, again, they keep surprising us. We thought Antonio was going to go first, and no, instead, pretty much every single duel in this match, the player chose to go first. And this could be a matter of just surprising your opponent, trying to get them to side deck in a bad way, taking out those Mulcharmies, siding in Solems. And then that is where you use the Nemesis flag. So that could be the case. Let's see, though, if Pietro just wants to repeat a similar opener as to the one in the previous game.
And I think I can see warning in Antonio's hand. So I think this strategy right now works very, very well for Pietro.
Indeed.
And I mean, to be fair, this is a very mini choice, but let me tell you, it is a very, very important one, because it can only be determined through a lot of playtest and understanding that your opponent will side out potentially Mulcharmies and side in cards like Solem. So I truly believe that Pietro has tested for a lot of hours for this moment.
I mean, we wanted to be shocked, and here we are. I mean, I think there's a lot of playtesting behind these choices, as you mentioned, and for sure, I think also the deck is powerful at going first. Of course, there's another strategy going on. It's completely more. It's more control, but I mean, I think so far we have seen both sides of the deck, like both going first and going second, what the deck is capable of, and if really Antonio's heading for going first, he may have some cards which will be pretty much useless for, you know, at this point. And I think I also saw him in his hand, so it's will be really interesting to see how this will turn out.
And I want to see if Pietro is going to access, as you mentioned, Nemesis flag, or he's going to Baguska again. Because as we saw, Antonio has not an easy access to Denamonto, but he's there and he potentially is in interaction with Baguska that you can easily access through your engine. Obviously, if Pietro has more interrupts with the Mitsurugi engine, for example, potential Last Blossom, or even now we have the Holocore into the graveyard, and Antonio needs again a card like Call by the Grave, for example, in order to push for Holocore to be banished. And I want to see how Antonio is going to approach this.
Well, there's also the Armadillo. You were talking about this before, and it used to be, you know, one of the normal summons of the deck, and it still is, because at the end of the day, that's what the card does. And I think the card is still really nice, because essentially, in general, it's it gives you another layer of addition. So,
and I mean, it is normal summon because we have Seraphinite on the field, so we have an additional normal summon. Seraphinite used to be summoned through Brilliant Fusion, and this is why it may be odd to see here without Brilliant Fusion on the Spell and Trap zone. However, now we can just access it through our engine and gain this very important effect of an additional normal summon.
Yeah, and we have already set up the negation in the graveyard, so we are pretty much safe from any possible other interruption from Antonio. The only concern might be time, because 11 minutes remain, and that might not be enough.
Again, we go for the Lady to Fusion Summon, since we generated the effect of Seraphinite for the additional normal summon, and Lady Rose Diamond has also the protection effect, which is very important and maybe play a role into this matchup. However, we see a very old strategy, summoning Reprodocus as our link summon, and we're probably going to change the type or the attributes.
Ooh,
the type,
wow.
definitely.
Yeah,
and we see
yeah,
Eschatos.
There he comes. You called it in the previous game, Mike, and decided to make an appearance.
So just to clear things up, Eschatos is quite the opposite of Protoss, because and Thrust with it.
Wow.
So Eschatos gives the same effect of Protoss, but for type. So with Reprodocus we can call either Reptile, or we can call them Beast for the Yami strategy. But I think with Black Goat Gloves to be set through the Thrust, we can address the Snatchy with it and just have Eschatos for Reptile, and we are pretty safe for both engines actually.
What a hand, honestly. What a starting hand, because like if we really wanted to be impressed by going first from Pietro's deck, well, we all have to say what a hand, what an opener, honestly. It's shutting down Antonio's strategy, and here let's see if he can come up with something, because this is more than scary, I would say.
Yeah, right now we are protected from reptiles, because Antonio cannot special summon any reptile from his deck, hand, grave or extra deck. And also the Black Coat Gloves, the on-field effect gives the opportunity to call a monster and that cannot be special summoned for the rest of the turn. Probably Yami Snatchy, yes. I don't find another option right here.
It's really rough. We would need maybe Capsi to get things going and to try and play a little bit, but it's definitely
and we still
not
have
easy.
a negation in the field.
Yeah.
So I think in any case,
and even possibly the interrupt, but this prayers doesn't do all that much. We can access Sagi, because at least
And we can normal summon him because Eschatos only prevents special summoning, not normal summoning. And maybe we can go Saji into Almiraj. It has 1000, right? Into SP maybe just to pull something.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, just to have an option, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you can also play with Yamis though, because if you get into the Capsi Yami way, you can still play, no?
Yeah, but I mean, probably Antonio doesn't have another Yami in his hand.
No, now I mean, you just go Capsi Yami, no?
Oh yeah.
Because you're not under Beast Lock, you're on the Reptile Lock, so you can still play. It's not that bad, I mean, because I guess...
but at the end there's no point, because you won't have a Snatchy in any case, so you won't have any synchro summoning your opponent turn.
I know, but you can, like, there is a universe in which you have maybe enough. Because like now
just generate advantage at this moment.
Like, the only thing I'm a bit confused, I guess we didn't have free names to banish, because we could have used these interruptions from Pietro.
He can just wait for the field spell.
I know, but now it's gone. Yeah, because he
did
Lollipop.
Yeah.
So maybe we could negate the Capsi Yami way and just isolate ourselves better.
So you suggest right here to activate Caps in order to take the field spell?
That one for sure is an
damage.
option, just trying to clear a bit. I mean, desperate means require desperate measures, I guess, but...
Because there's only 6 minutes left also.
Yeah.
You need to go for,
for
a win,
yeah. Because, I mean, if you give them a turn back, there is no way you win this game, like, ever. But, I mean... Because even the tricks that Antonio has pulled off in the past with this bounce, which could make sense here, are not really going to be the case. Because, okay, of course, first we access another monster.
So just to clear this, you can activate Surprise, Special Summon Masmau, and since on Resolution Masmau activate the effect, can target the Surprise on the graveyard, but because it's a common combo, players used to do it faster and just take Surprise from the field.
Oh, but we actually go for SP right here. Okay. So, yeah, scrap off that damage plan. We didn't have field spell anyways. So we're gonna go plan B, SP, getting rid of this Eschatos.
Where are we going though?
Like, if we have both, like, I know it sounded intriguing with Eschatos and Black Goat, but like, if we have both, isn't it really better to maybe do the opposite and go Beast with Eschatos and Murakumo with Goat? Because that's also an option, no? Possibly.
Yeah, but
I know what
you still generate advantage from the... I mean, I don't have Murakumo, but I can push for game with the Habakiris.
I mean, push for game with Habakiris.
And here comes the heat wave.
Yeah, but definitely something we wanted to see before.
4 minutes.
Yeah. But I mean, it just saves us a little bit of time, and then we need to play next turn.
And only 4 minutes left.
Wow, what an ending. I mean, already the last time we were here as a team, we witnessed a double loss, but is that really going to be the case again?
We could chain to heat wave the Surprise, to summon the Masmau in order to generate advantage at least, because it would have been very important in this scenario to have more bodies.
No, wait, but the Gorgon is a reptile. Oh, he couldn't go for it, no?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oof, yeah, the Gorgon is a reptile indeed. I mean, this is a bit of a shame, but unfortunately, yeah, they just realized. Makes sense. I mean, usually you don't really think about it because it's not part of the engine of like Mitsurugi. It's just there as an option for the Yami deck, but it is a reptile indeed, and I don't know how they can solve this one out, honestly.
I mean, the only heat wave was drawn.
Yeah. Does he have cards or no?
He didn't draw any card. I think it can be repaired.
Yeah.
No?
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, he just pulled it back and...
Yeah, the only issue right now is that you know that your opponent is going to activate heat wave.
I mean, it's one of those scenarios that is definitely a bit shaky. Yeah, I mean, here we are. Obviously, I guess they're gonna get some extra time for it, but...
Do you also see a world where you call Eschatos for Beast and keep the Black Goat Labs for Murakumo, for example?
I mean, he could have done it, honestly. I mean, I would have blamed him. I mean, it's definitely one choice. I mean, I really feel like that Pietro with his opening hand could have really felt like I got this, you know, because he was very good, honestly, starter. Still, I feel like that on the other hand, I think Antonio's tried to navigate this as, you know, as better as he could, but I don't know, it's still tough because the main issue is that there's only 3 minutes remaining. So either way, like, of course, this was a little bit of a misstep. It's not really going to change much, but
I mean, yeah, what can you do? As you can see here, we are just going to use the surprise to bounce back, set the solemn warning that was in the deck, and now the play is back to Pietro. We already know he was going to draw into this heat wave. But yeah, this is a bit rough at this point. And yeah, just gonna take time away from Antonio. And the last card, is it the Radiant Typhoon?
And I like the bet right now. Ah,
no, not going for the bet.
The Mystical Space Typhoon.
Yeah, I mean, there is warning there, so that's actually a really funny way to get through this. And we're gonna put it face down. And yeah, so play should speed up a lot right here because there are only about 3 minutes remaining. And we do have the Typhoon for the warning. So if we actually draw something good, this could be huge.
I mean, maybe we have next station also.
Because we have Black Goat, no?
Yeah.
So possible crucial top deck for Pietro to get anything. Let's see.
Use his facial expression.
Oh, is that my main?
Oh, the Quartz, is it?
Yeah, it's Gemnite Quartz. Ooh, an interesting effect.
That's brilliant. Yeah, he has access to Brilliant Fusion. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what? 2 minutes remaining. So let's say if he can really pull this off, it will be absolutely insane to see this happen. But do
you think
it's run?
In this room, if I had to choose one deck to go second and win in the battle phase as fast as possible, it would definitely Gemnite.
I was also wondering whether it was the case to just use the Black Goat on the SP from the grave, or just, you know, before. Whoa. But anyways, I guess as you can see here, Pietro playing as fast as possible, getting into these top hats now. Wow. What an ending.
Look at this. Yeah, declared battle phase.
And yeah, that is battle phase. And wow, keeps attacking, and Pietro might have done it.
Yes.
And there it is with 1 minute remaining.